You voted, and here we are. Here's the results. Let's talk about how we got there. You'll need some supplies. If you don't have a Cricut machine, don't worry, you can still do this by printing out a picture, cutting it out, and using that as your mask. It's going to be a little bit more cantankerous. If you have a friend with a Cricut, that will also be really helpful. I actually had to go through 2 iterations of this because I made a huge mistake and I only measured the width of the panel on the bottom. I didn't measure it at the top where it tapered. The first one I did was extremely bad and way too big. Once you have gotten your stencil done, I put mine on a transfer tape, and I was being a little silly because the tool I was using was actually a fallout magnet. And yeah, if you have a Cricut, this is going to be an important step for you. Definitely put it on the transfer tape. Do a little test first with your material to make sure that it's not going to ruin your vinyl or your leather or whatever you're putting on. Yeah, just be really careful with that. I did do a small test area. And here's the part where I realized I made it way too big and I needed to go back. So I went back to my Cricut. I made 8.5 inches. I measured across the top and just made sure that the next one would fit. My bad. So now that you have your template at the right size, this is where you can go ahead and begin to peel your transfer tape. Be really careful here. Go slow. Do it at that, basically where you're flattening it, going the opposite direction. It should come off pretty easily. This is not a super complicated design. Here's the part where I like to take a step back, make sure everything's nice and flush, and just, make sure that it looks how I'm expecting. I did catch it a few times, so be really cautious when you go around here. I started off by using a fabric pin in sort of the more intricate areas where I was worried about it bleeding, but it turns out they bled anyway, and maybe you should skip this step and go straight to the Angelus leather paint. I recommend going really slowly, unloading your brush a little bit so that you're not putting on a thick coat, and just, going slow, paying attention to if you're going under the edges, things like that. I did have to go back over this once I peeled it off with Q-tips and makeup remover to clean up some of the lines. You can see that I'm doing that here. So just use extra caution and be careful if you want your logo to look nice and, clean. Don't forget to seal this once you have it looking how you want it. This dress is just a little too small for me, but here are the results. Let me know what you think, and be sure to tag me if you decide to do something similar. Happy crafting!